Welcome to XM.com for another Forex Preview video. I'm Cristina Marujos, and joining me today is investment analyst Cristina Bartenido. We'll be looking at EU flash PMI numbers and, of course, the outlook for the euro. Cristina, PMI business indices were not very encouraging last month, slowing down within the expansion area after hitting multi-year highs. And it seems that markets are not expecting any good news this time either. So what shall we expect, and how important could this report be?
Hi, Christina. Indeed, markets are not expecting a full upside correction of the downfall we saw in August, but they still forecast a steady services PMI and a slight pickup in the manufacturing PMI, which could overall give us a slightly weaker composite PMI for September. Not different from what we have seen last month, but still this could be an evidence that the V-shaped recovery we saw in the previous month is likely fading, and that comes at a bad time when virus cases are increasing dramatically. Some Eurozone members, such as France and Spain, where new infection cases have reached new record highs. So the logic behind this is that if the virus conditions deteriorate in the coming months because of the colder weather perhaps, then probably governments will resume some lockdown measures, and that will further pressure consumption and business activities, and therefore send PMI figures even lower. Therefore, Eurozone may not experience the ideal V-shaped recovery markets hoped for in the third quarter, as the negative consumer confidence index released out of the block signal today. Of course, governments will do whatever they can to avoid a full lockdown of the size we had in March, because that would be devastating for the economies unless hospital capacities get exhausted. But still, additional restrictions may bring some damage to consumption and business activities. That increases the case of a slower recovery, especially if a vaccine is not approved and released this year. So if the September market PMI surveys miss expectations on Wednesday, then that could make this case more real in the third quarter.
Turning to the FX markets now, the euro was on the back foot yesterday against the US dollar and is set for another red session today. What is your outlook for this week? Will the sell-off continue?
Our forecasts are very close to previous readings, so any negative surprise could pressure the euro given how sensitive markets are about the virus condition in the bloc and how the economy may develop in the near future. However, unlike the dollar, I think the euro has some backing from fiscal policy. EU leaders have proved that they can get on the same page as regards fiscal stimulus packages, whereas in the US, the Congress continues to debate the release of another stimulus package for the second month, and the odds of a breakthrough are decreasing here as we head towards November's election. Moreover, we have several speeches from Fed policymakers, and if they leave a cautious message about the US pushing the dollar lower, then the downfall in the euro may come limited. Now, in the positive scenario, if the report comes in stronger than expected, then I think the euro may not find hard to accelerate. The ECB didn't appear much worried about the euro's 10% rally from March lows last week, and that makes markets less nervous about any potential spikes in the euro. Of course, if things could deteriorate and the euro remains at high levels, then we may have more currency talks, because a strong currency is negative for businesses who export abroad. Also, it's negative for inflation as imports turn cheaper, and that would be against central bank's inflation mandate. So overall, and speaking about the short term, I think that the euro has still some support to rely on. Technically, we're testing that support at the moment, and once we break below it, I expect the sell-off to extend towards 1.16 per dollar. Otherwise, we may return to the 1.18 territory.
Cristina, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for joining us here at XM.com for this Forex Preview on EU Flash PMIs.